my journey, as I said, began with praise. My dad used to actually put a poster in the back of the toilet door, the perfect place where you'll never forget. And it said, your attitude in life will determine your altitude in life. And I believe that praise is all about attitude. You see, prayer demonstrates one attitude in some ways, in that it's an asking, as in you're saying, Lord, can you do this for me? As opposed to praise, it's almost saying, thank you, you've already done it. It's a different attitude. I was one of those kids that gave my heart to the Lord at a very early age of 14. However, fell away. I was a prodigal son, as I tell people. Fell away, really far away from God. Never lost my relationship. However, I wasn't going to church. Moved to the UK after Charlene and I got married, and Miles was on his way. And it was so hard for me to get my foot in the door in a new country as well. It would, that just added to the complexity. And I remember being in a really, really low moment in my life, sitting on the dining room table at home, and this voice, the same voice, and I recognized him from the when I gave my heart to the Lord, like I said, at age 14. That voice came that would not leave me, that just said, just praise me, just praise me. It would not let me go, just praise me. So I went over to my music system, as you do, and I went over and got my gospel tracks, and I just began to praise God. I got into a place of worship that I couldn't explain. My wife Charlene, she came downstairs, and she hadn't given her heart to the Lord yet. She came downstairs and probably thought that, I've lost it. The pressure has finally got to him, the mortgage and everything, and it was just too much for him. That's probably what she was thinking. But I continued praising, and it wasn't even 2 hours later that the phone call rang. The phone rang, and a phone call that led to a permanent role with Thomas Cook that began our whole journey to MAF. Now that was so overwhelming for me, God's grace, especially in that low place that I was in, that it was so convicting. I jumped on the computer and I said, Lord, I'm not in the right place with you. My family and I, we are going to church this Sunday. We're going to get back right with you. And I started searching. I found Jubilee Christian Center, which we're at right now. That's our home church. That's where Charlene gave her heart to the Lord and got baptized. The very first Sunday that we actually set foot in the church in Wolverhampton, and we sat down, the preacher began to preach and delivered his word for the day. The topic for his sermon that day, that Sunday, the first Sunday that we sat in church, was the power of praise. And every hair, just as it is now, just stood up in my body to say, okay, Lord, I'm listening, I'm here. What do you want to tell me? And that began my journey back into relationship with God. Magnificent and powerful. And like I said, it all began with praise.